Okay, once I reset everything, if you remember, it all went green. Now I run the engine. I can see the detonation still. I can see that little turtle on screen, so that means the car is in the limp mode, and that's fine. But look, we have only one ECU reporting, and it says about random misfire, component failures, component system over temperature, random misfire detector, components failures. So basically it requires catalyst, oxygen sensor, and oxygen heater sensor. Let me print out the full report. So basically your operation, you need to read the codes first, clean them, run the engine. If your car requires some driving, just try to drive it. If there is any gearbox issue or I don't know, hybrid system or whatever, then wait up until all the issues comes back and then read the codes again, fault codes again. So I'm going to print out a report now, and that's it pretty much. I believe I know what the problem is right now. So after replacement of these two sensors and the catalytic converter, I'll be fine. I'm gonna do it myself, guys, not in service, of course, because in service they will charge me half price of the car. So yeah, don't worry, we'll buy some used one on eBay and replace it ourselves. I'm gonna film it and put the videos about replacement. Maybe someone will find it useful in the future. Okay, last time we did smoke test, we can't see nothing is smoking anywhere, so that's pretty much means the vacuum system is okay. Now I'm checking the ignition system. This car equipped with one of the most reliable ignition system, Japanese brand Densa. I'm pretty sure it should be alright. I've already tested the coil number 1. Instead of buying a new coil straight away, we can buy like this kind of ignition coil tester, right? And we're starting test from 1 centimeters according to the instruction. And basically, I'll show you what to do next. So pretty much we need to remove the injector wires, fuel injector first, and then ignition coil as well. It's quite difficult to, okay, and remove the coil itself. And basically remove the coil out of the socket. Right, now we need to plug this testing tool instead of the spark plug, like this. Make sure you made it to the end, and reduce this, screwing this bolt, reduce this down to the centimeter, 1 centimeter, right? So like this. Then plug this wire and attach this crocodile to the any mass point of your engine. So connect this coil back to the car, right? Connect it back to the car. Connect the mass point, right? And that's it pretty much. If we see here the white proper straight spark, that means it's okay. Now we have to increase the distance up to the 2 centimeters and then run the engine again. So I'll show you pretty much how it works. Yeah, run the engine. Stop. Okay, as you can see, there was a good spark, right? Let me plug this pipe back. Yeah, and now we will just need to increase the distance down to the 2 centimeters and test if the spark is still straight and white. If the spark is not straight or not white, that means your ignition coil is bad. So my one is good, so I'm gonna test them one by one, right? Especially in the cylinders there was a misfire, and so pay that attention as well. Make sure your spark plugs are new or they clean, and then yeah, pretty much that's all I wanted to show you in this little episode of my testing. My next one will be, as you can see, nobody opened this air filter, so that if it's clogged, that pretty much could be the reason why this car is not working properly as well. Okay, the next step, I did open the air filter to make sure nothing is clogged, so the air is coming in with no issues. Okay, the filter looks, well, alright. I will replace it anyway, but it should not impact any. Just in case, I kept the socket open intake, because we're not driving now, there is no dust, no sand, no anything bad, so I'm bypassing that filter in case there is any resistance, but I doubt it is. So the car is complaining on both oxygen sensors, and the computer saying in the last video. So instead of straight away replacing them, we have to make sure they are definitely faulty. So as you can see, we here, this is our pre-catalytic sensor, the front one, and this one. So we got two equal sockets, but this one is the post catalytic, the rear oxygen sensor. So these two black wires are heating, so I'm expecting to see here 12 volts, right, when the ignition is on. So do not disconnect anything, I mean batteries and stuff. We're not replacing anything, we're just doing testing. Okay, so in order to test it, we will just need to any multimeter, could be digital or not necessarily, and you have to have this kind of two probes, which you can buy on eBay, and this kind of crocodiles in order to connect this. So we're not going to pull them into the socket itself. We're going to pull them behind this, in squeezing between that green rubber down to the contacts. This is the proper way of doing these things. Otherwise you can damage the socket, and you will basically have to replace it. So never put the pin, these probes inside the pins. Just always use it the back side of the connector, if you know what I mean. Okay, let me just plug it and show my setup. Okay, now my setup is ready, so I put these plugins in, pins in, make sure nothing is shortcutted. We got 0 voltage, right? According to the electric scheme, this fuse is responsible for both lambda heaters, right? So my one, as you can see, somebody placed it 10 amperes fuse, but it has to be a 15 according to the documentation. Before, check it out first yourself before actually you're going to do my research show me that should be a 15, but it's not an issue. I've already checked, there is a voltage here, so it's not an issue, and it's not blown. That means this fuse works well. Okay, so let me put the ignition on and see. I'm expecting to see here 12 volts. If it is, that means our electric chain to the heater is okay, right? That means sensor getting 12 volts to the heater system. Okay. The other two wires are white, responsible for the signal from the sensor. A signal must be between 0 and 1 volt. Okay, we're switching off our multimeter to the 2 volts, right? And we're changing the position of these two wires. Doesn't matter the order, right? It will be either minus or plus. At the moment it shows you dot minus 0.4, so I swapped plus and minus, but it doesn't matter. I have this kind of endoscope. So after the car is working few minutes, I realized it works stable, but there is a white smoke. That means cooling the liquid is running down to the engine, right? So it could be anything. It could be a gasket or something. I doubt it's gasket because of the normal compression, so it's somewhere else. So let me just connect this endoscope and have a look in the cylinder number 1 and 2. These two are suspicious because I've seen the wet spark plug in it. Okay guys, I think I know what is wrong with this. So cylinder number 1 and 2 both wet, and cylinder number 3 and 4 are dry, and the spark plug is good, so I suspect it is most likely, unfortunately, head gasket, so we will need to remove all belts, turbocharger, everything, and the intake as well, and remove the head, cylinder head, and replace the gasket. I don't know if I really want to do it myself. It's not just because of confidence, it's because of time consuming, and I got MOT soon. I'm probably going to do it in the main dealer, but before I make a decision, I want to call them and ask what will be the price. So yeah, it's not the best fault. Yeah, it's not easy fault. Also, I can see there is something leaking there as well. See there, I think it's a coolant leak. Maybe it's worth just to lift it up and see what's under the car. Okay, here's the oil. It's very dirty. I'm just about to make a little drop test. So we need to put and make a couple of drops on the paper and wait now. The drop test. Our oil is already completely dried down, and you can see clearly this dark area. This is the oil, and that's an oil as well. All the way around, it's a coolant one. So this is how you can detect if the coolant leaks down to the oil. Right, so yesterday we detected it's getting to be a head gasket replacement, and today I'm starting disassemble it. In order to start disassemble, we need to remove this front, everything that's here, front panels, we need to remove the wipers and everything, basically all the plastics covers, and even that metal bar needs to be removed as well. So yeah, I'm going to start from this now. Yeah, okay, but before we're doing this, we need to disconnect all batteries, right? So let's come to the rear seat, passenger seat. You can see that big cover. So it basically needs to be pulled down and removed, right? So it does have a clip like this and clips like this. So yeah, see how it works. So it actually sits down like this, and then so put it up and then plug it from here, right? Now we need to disconnect the high voltage battery. So put this clip up and just pull this up. That's it. Now our car is not danger anymore. Leave it here, leave the cover here. The next thing we need to remove is that 12 volts battery, who's feeding the whole your power computers and stuff. That's 12 volts battery. It's sitting on the boot over there. As you can see, I've already charging it, so it sits over there. By the way, don't do that. Don't charge it like me, because that vehicle, that's wrong. Basically, don't do this. Because it's a hybrid system, it has to be charged. This battery is charging only from the high voltage batteries, so don't directly plug the charger and charge the 12 volts battery. Otherwise it could potentially confuse your BMS system, and you might have some electrical faults and issues. Fortunately for me, it didn't happen, but I don't recommend it because it's not what the Volvo recommended to do. So please don't do that, right? Don't be like me. In order to disconnect this battery, make sure you don't disconnect the positive, disconnect the negative clump first from the negative one, and don't touch the positive one. Okay, pull it away like me, make it safe. To avoid this touch to this one, it's better I will isolate this one by special battery plug. Okay, make it like this. That's plastic, it's never touch it anyhow anymore. Right now we're safe to work with the car and disconnect everything we need. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this. It's water. Oh my god. That's not good. I didn't see that. Right, okay. Okay, that means the boot or roof is leaking basically somewhere down to the. You need to. Oh my god, that's so bad. Yeah, it is water. Okay, before disassemble everything, I got a suspicious. These engines have very thin oil piston rings, which could be a possibly the problem of these piston rings are clogged, and that's why we're having too much smoke and a little bit of inconsistent compression between these two, and also yeah, so before doing this I decided to try the one of this tool, which is quite positive. feedbacks in the internet, so from the other customers. So I don't know who's manufacturer of this, US. So yeah, probably that should work properly. Yeah, so let's get started. Remove all of the wires. I've already done it. Remove the ignition coils, right? Just pull them carefully up. So I got no issues with my ignition system. Sparks are perfect. The only issue here is the leak, the oil leak into the turbocharger. The possible reasons why that guy, which is supercharger, this is T8, this is the high power engine. It does have a supercharger and turbocharger underneath. So it could be a possible the issue why it's smoking and eating too much oil. By the way, this is the oil I've just removed. Look, and this is the 5-liter can, and look, it is 4-liter was only, and the normal oil consumption for this one is 5.5 liters. So 1.5 liters gone away somewhere on the road, right? So as I said, it could be a piston ring clogged, it could be intake clogged or outtake clogged, or it could be this guy faulty. When supercharger create an inconsistent or wrong pressure, it could too much pressurize the turbocharger, and the potentially turbocharger will be just start leaking out of the sealants. This is what I've seen under the car. I'll show you later. But let's start from simple things first. Let's try to unclog these piston rings first. So I removed already the ignition coils. Now let me remove the spark plugs as well. Okay, so this is the spark plugs. As you can see, a couple of them are wet. This one and then this one, I think. These two are okay. They come out from these two cylinders. These two cylinders are wet. This is more wet, this is less. And I suspect the oil rings are clogged on this one or both of this. But it's nice to do this procedure unclogging for all four cylinders, just in case, you know, because the mileage is, well, it's not high mileage, just 100,000 miles this car's done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to split one can by 4 parts and put each 1/4 into the cylinder, and then leave it overnight. Tomorrow I will repeat procedure for with the second can, and on Sunday morning I will try to run the engine and see if that did help, or basically we have to disassemble it. Yep. By the way, let me know in the comments, do you want me to do it and record the video step by step, or you want me just to put into the garage and let the guys do their job? Yeah, just see if you have any interest of disassembling the engine of Volvo XC90 T8 2017.